think are important. Sometimes I'm completely wrong. You guys let me know in the comments. But this one I think is really important. So I want you to hang in there till the end. And I want you to pass it around. I want you to pass it to your friends. I want you to pass it to your family members. I'll tell you more about that later. But we're going to be in a transition here. You see, Tesla took a major leap this week, a huge major leap. And I'm going to make that leap with them. Until last week, Tesla was a hardware company with hardware margins, and the majority of the content that I provided on this channel was about markets and products and consumer acceptance of the models and the products that Tesla was making, the hardware. And we'll continue to do that. We're not going to let up on it at all. We're still going to be talking about the Model Q when it comes out, and the next factory that opens, and the next mega factory that gets underway. And we'll be talking about all that just like usual. And then, of course, I've been bundling that with the stock, the markets, the economy, the things I normally do. And I think it's different than anybody else out there. And I hope that's why you watch me, is because I put it all together. The general economy, the stock market, Tesla, the stock, and Tesla, the company, along with Elon's other ventures. Tesla last Sunday put in motion the most, let me say it again, the most, I've said it before, the most important new product or service in the history of the world. You're like, well, yeah, what about the wheel? What about the printing press, etc.? Yeah, we know about all those things. We've read about them in history. This will be talked about in history. But the reason it's going to be the most important product in the world is not just because of the impact on the world, we'll talk about that in a minute, but also because of the TAM. There's no larger TAM, there's only one larger TAM, that's labor, and that's coming later. But the TAM that we're talking about here is all transportation, and of course the potential earnings, which will be, the kind of margins that you can only dream about, like NVIDIA margins. But also massive earnings because the revenue will be, well, okay, the largest revenue companies in the world across multiple products is around $670 billion a year. You got your Amazon, and you've got Walmart, which are in the $670 billion a year range. Both of them, they're fighting right now for number one in total revenues, and they have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of products to get there. But this is going to be one product, well, one service, if you will, Robotaxi, and its revenues are going to be in the trillions, and its earnings are going to be potentially in the trillions. And that doesn't even count what's coming with Optimus. Anyway, that TAM is going to have also, that's not just about the TAM, because the product itself, the service, the Robotaxi service, is going to have a massive impact on society as a whole. I've talked about impacts of previous products like air conditioning, the ballpoint pen, obvious ones like the automobile, airplanes, television, the Apple iPhone, of course. Those are all huge, massive. Email, people don't realize the societal impact of email, the societal impact of air conditioning. These are things that I think about, because other people don't. It's important to think about these things. If you want to think about the future, you got to think about the past. Anyway, this is going to impact how people get from place to place in a major, big-time way. It's going to impact lawyers, because there won't be as many accidents by a lot. It's going to impact emergency wards. It's going to impact the number of people who die each year. People are going to live longer because they won't die in auto accidents. There won't be as many people walking around crippled because of auto accidents. It goes on and on and on. The impact is going to be massive, and that doesn't count things like, eliminating all the parking downtown over time, which sometimes is 40% of the usable space in a downtown area. It's going to reduce the amount of, it's going to also, I can't begin to tell you, in your home, you won't need a garage, or so building new homes, they either won't build garages, or garages that exist now will be converted into man caves or lady caves or something. I'm not sure exactly what they'll be converted into, but you'll have a lot of space out there that you'll be able to use for better use than storing a vehicle. It's going to reduce the cost of transportation for the family. And of course, anytime you reduce the cost of something, like I've talked about on the channel before, we went from spending almost 10% of our income for food in the 50s to well under 2% now for most families, or 3% of our income goes for food now. Well, when you free up that percentage, it can be spent on other things. And we've largely taken that money and spent it on things like education, transportation, medical, and housing. So what are we going to spend it on now? We free up that money. We will see less expensive homes. If you don't need a garage, it reduces the cost of the home. So what's the key here? What am I talking about? Okay, this channel is going to change because Tesla is changing to an AI company. Tesla is changing to a company that's going to be driven by its capabilities in artificial intelligence. Well, then this channel needs to change too. So super artificial intelligence is what's coming next. And I'll be talking a lot about super artificial intelligence. Some people call it just super intelligence. We've got people, there's also, words like the singularity that are bandied about out there. So we do have to talk about definitions. We've passed the Turing test. Everybody talks about it. It's like the biggest thing in the world is, will I be able to talk to a computer in a way that I won't know whether it's a computer or a human? We've passed that. We've passed it so much so that computers are better bedside manner as therapists and as doctors than doctors and therapists are, as humans are. We've got computers now that are getting to be smarter than humans on multiple tasks, but super intelligence as defined by Elon Musk last week, and people are starting to kind of coalesce around his definition. I mean, this is a fast-changing field. It's changing so fast, it is blowing people's minds. Well, Elon gave his definition, and he says that the super artificial intelligence, SAI, super artificial intelligence, or some people just call it super intelligence. This will be where the computers, the capabilities of computers will be smarter than any single human on every single subject. So it doesn't matter the subject, they will be smarter. And he thinks this will happen within the next 18 months. Okay. And there are profound ramifications about who is first to get there. So this program, this show that you've been watching, is going to pivot ever so gently to make sure that you are up to speed on this incredibly important transition where machines will become smarter than humans. You can do like I do. You can spend your week, as I spend my week, listening to every single thing that Kathy puts out, anything that comes out on the All In podcast, the B2G podcast, the Pierre Diamandis podcast, and many, 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 many others. You can listen to every single one of those shows and figure out what is important out of those shows. You can listen to the news and watch the news and read all kinds of articles all week on everything having to do with all of these subject matters that I just mentioned. Or you can just watch this channel, and I'll promise you that I'm gonna pull out the important stuff, the stuff that will matter to folks like you and me. And I'll all those resources I'll combine into one, but we'll also bring you Brian White, Brian Wong, Larry, Nicholas, Bradford, CERN, Phil, all these guys who are uniquely capable. They have their specializations. Very, very, very bright, very successful people who have their specializations, and we bring them to you. I've handpicked these people based on their unique niches of what they can bring in to you each week. You'll get it daily as fast as it happens. You won't have to wait till the weekend to find out what the All In podcasts are thinking. You can get it daily as it's happening. When I watch the All In podcast, 50, 60, 70% of what I see on All In podcast, I could have been on the show. Seriously, I'm not bragging or complaining. I already knew it and could have said it just as well as they did. In fact, sometimes better, because I have more deep knowledge on some subjects than these guys do. Anyway, no one else, you're not going to be able to watch anybody else that has the background, the skill sets, or the team to bring you this set of changes that's coming. Well, we started with the Elon Musk method about 6 years ago, and then the Elon Musk mission about 3 years ago. And then with this channel, I've been chronicling the rise of Elon Musk and his companies. And then last year, we added tons of content as Donald J. Trump, as the President of the United States, added his astonishing capabilities. What a week we've just had with the president. His astonishing capabilities to this massive change in the world that we live in. So Brian Wong, he's been keeping us up to date with the science aspects of it all. And without him, I would not be where I am. I would not be able to give you this massive change that we're taking a look at. He's been bringing you all the scientific aspects of AI, the data centers, the energy aspects, all the nukes and the nuclear, all of that stuff. Brian has been bringing that to you. And now we'll be adding in SAI. And Brian will be a key part. Brian Wong will be a key part of that as SAI becomes a key component of what we do here. But we're still going to stay on course with all the goals, keeping you informed on Tesla stock, the economy, and the macro markets. Now, again, we've got all these words being bandied around, but in the past few weeks, there's been coming together on the definitions that matter. And this reality was first, but we have a reality right now. Where are we in this mountain that we're climbing, or that's not a very good metaphor. Where are we on this rocket ship that we are climbing rapidly into the stratosphere? Bradford kind of gave it some what would you call it, some reality in the show a week and a half ago. And he said, look, the AI that we have right now, what you guys already have access to for free, or for $20 a month, or if you really want to go crazy, you can spend $200 a month and get the very best systems that are out there right now. Those AI systems that we have right now are already super adequate, completely adequate for everything that you would need AI to do for your personal lives, your business lives, and your professional lives. And yeah, you can use AI to predict the market. You can even do research on stocks using the existing AI. But SAI will be faster, it'll be smarter, it will layer on top of all the amazing results that you are already seeing when you're using these systems. The ability of these systems to hold your previous work in memory, it's only about 2 months now that we've been able to do that, and impact your future prompts, not only hold it in memory, but have it impact what you're thinking and doing today. The current levels of these systems to reason, and you can watch them reason and see whether the reasoning steps that they're taking make sense, so that then you know how to go back and reprompt it because, okay, its reasoning went off in a wrong direction here, so you need to change that aspect. All of this and its ability of all these systems now to communicate with you like a human, and what the potential coming is, its ability to self-improve, and potentially, this is the biggie, whether it eventually invents. And all of that is critical to the rest of the story. As you're probably well aware, multiple companies are pouring massive resources into what they are sure that they need in order to become first in this category. I want you to listen to this little snippet here that I'm going to give you from billionaires Peter Diamandis, who needs no introduction, Salim Ismail, the founder of OpenXO, Dave Blunden, the founder of Link Ventures. These are the regular attendees at Peter Diamandis' broadcast. And this is what they've been talking about. This has been happening very, very big. This has been happening in the last few weeks that you may have heard a little bit about, but let them tell you the story here with this little snippet.
Video, I asked the team to cut it. This is from Jeff Clune, who's a DeepMind advisor. The title here is the first AI may be, the first ASI may be the last ASI. So take a listen to this.
It is a world in which the first AI is the last AI, and the creation of the first ASI suppresses the creation of ASI worldwide. Then that organization, whoever they are, has a decision to make. And that decision is, we just invented effectively, if that thing is aligned to them and will obey their commands, we just effectively invented a God. Do we want to sit around and let those people over there also invented God.
And you're going to see later in this podcast the amount of competitive pressure on these, foundation model companies to get the best talent. The amount they're willing to pay is mind-blowing. Well, why is that? Well, because the natural dynamic is winner takes all, because the AI becomes self-improving very, very soon. And so the observation in that video is right on target. And the only force that's going to, we, in our first slide here, we're saying, look, if the data that goes into these is one view, one point of view, and it's self-fixing, but it filters out other points of view, that could be terrible. And so the only way you're going to have a variety of these, and America thrives on a variety of competitors in any given market, a variety of viewpoints, that has to come through some kind of regulatory framework. It's not going to happen with the natural winner-take-all dynamic.
The title here is Meta try to buy 𝐒𝐚𝐲 $32 billion AI startup, and now planning to hire its CEO. We'll get into this in a moment, but I just want to pass a theory by you. So how does 𝐒𝐚𝐲 get a $32 billion valuation, right? So he's basically goes out, he pitches Andreessen Horowitz. His investors are Andreessen Horowitz, Sequoia, DST Global, which is Yuri Milner, Alphabet, NVIDIA, Lightspeed Ventures. I mean, like the AAA list of investors. And he raises, $6 billion of capital on a $32 billion valuation. How do you do that without any product or any tech to show? And I have a theory. Here's my theory. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
So we just saw the presentation on the first ASI, his last ASI. He goes in and he says to these venture funds, listen, I know how to build an ASI that will blow away the other AI companies. It will be a safe ASI because here's my strategy. And because it's the first, it will be the last. He offers it to you. How do you think about that?
I think that's exactly right. And I think there's another point, which is that clearly the true great neural architect people, the 𝐒𝐚𝐲s, the Mira Muratis, are not intimidated by the progress that's been made at OpenAI, Grok, and Google. Mm-hmm. And that's an amazing fact by itself. And when you look under the covers, the research teams working on this are 10, 15 people. They're not 10,000 people. And the innovations are still piling up, where there are still 10x improvements out there. And so undoubtedly, 𝐒𝐚𝐲, having been an architect right in the middle of this, is saying, look, I know how to 10x this, and I'm not afraid of the big guys.
Video goes on to point out that massive amounts of money are being poured into these data centers and into employees, into purchasing other companies that can provide the additional resources necessary. Now, of course, Elon is building his two data centers, Colossus for digital training and Cortex at Giga Texas for embodied AI training. And they are by far the largest and most powerful superclusters in each category. Alphabet or Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, they're all working hard to keep up. But the truth is, Elon is ahead in terms of, as Brian Wong put it the other day, in terms of having the hammer. Now, some of these others, as you just heard in some of that commentary, some of the others already have more consumers on board and whatnot. Google obviously has massive amounts of reach to the consumers and to the business community, and they seem to have some core advantages that it shares with Tesla. And both Tesla and Google seem to be in the lead because of the vertical integration that they have of the entire stack. Elon even has the energy part of the stack, which certainly Google does not. They also have, so as a result of having control over more of their stack, they have more control over their own destinies. And so multiple people are putting Google and Tesla in the lead in this race. That doesn't mean that you can count some of the others out, though, because there's so much money at stake, and there's lots and lots of money available to people like Meta and Alphabet. They have big cash hoards, and the ability to raise lots of money has been proven over and over again by Elon and by OpenAI. Anyway, I would posit, however, that one of the things that none of them have is Elon. That's just a reality. that they just don't have anybody that has his levels of genius, that the others can only wish that they had anything like that, either individually or corporately. The list of his abilities is long. I could spend an entire video talking about how he is better at manufacturing or better at but it includes his ability to hire the best talent, to bring in the best talent. That's been going on for years and years. So he's built up this talent base that nobody else, I mean, people aren't leaving Tesla. We have a person leaves and it becomes this big story. Oh, believe me, the turnover at these other companies is bigger and more critical to the mission because Elon's bench is so deep. And the Elon ecosystem of other companies that have resources and things like, they don't have the resources that Elon has, like in material sciences over at SpaceX, brain science at Neuralink, factory management at Tesla, energy exploitation, of course, at Tesla as well. And these other companies don't have anything remotely like that. And then on top of that, you have Elon's personal wealth and his ability to raise more money are unparalleled. Nobody has the personal wealth, and nobody has anything like the ability that Elon does to raise money. In the next 24 months, Tesla will also unleash a cash flow tsunami. Nobody's ever seen anything like what's going to happen in this next 24 months when the robotaxis start to bring in the money, and then Optimus starts to bring in the money. It will make what the cash flow from some of these other companies like NVIDIA and Apple, Meta, et cetera, seem small by comparison. And then Starlink will be bringing in additional massive amounts of cash flow. Brian Wong has talked about this multiple times on this channel. And then you have the financial products coming on X. Watch out for X. Nobody, I don't think, I'm sure the other companies must recognize this, but the financial products that is going to be happening soon on X, combined with what's already happening there, is going to unleash another massive amount of wealth and cash flow for Elon to play with. And so those will be impacting in many different ways. Now, so as we've done on this channel in the past, we're going to also personalize this change, this AI change. Now it's going to impact you and now and in your future. Now, most of the people in this audience are 55 to 75. You're either retired or near retirement. So you're not thinking that much about future jobs, but what about your grandkids' jobs, your kids' jobs? And then many of you on this channel, and I'm hoping that we can get a younger crowd. In fact, I'm going to recommend that you talk to your kids and your older grandkids, and even your grandkids that are in high school or college, and tell them they need to be watching this channel. What we've already been talking about would have been valuable for them in terms of planning their careers. But I promise you, what this slight change of direction that we're going to be taking is going to be even more valuable to them because the jobs are going to change. The things that they're learning in college today are going to be useful if they're learning general stuff. But if they're learning how to code, forget about it. There's not going to be a job for coders in the future. So get your kids to watch the show, to get your neighbors to watch the show, get the people in your life that are a little younger, middle career to watch the show. I know it's going to hurt their brains. People don't like to think about the future. It's going to make them question what they think they already have figured out about life. Most people, the future scares them. They don't want to have more things to think about that might frighten them about what's going to be coming down the pike. They don't want to work harder or think more strategically. Oh, no, that's tough. They just want to put in their 40, get their direct deposit. Notice I didn't say get their check, and then pay their bills and enjoy raising their families. That's what they want to do, but that's not maybe going to be good enough. Maybe it will be. Maybe I'll be completely wrong. Maybe I'm putting up, worries about fires that are not going to really impact people that much. Maybe 5-10 years from now, people will just be, moseying along into the next opportunity. Well, but I don't know. I'm not sure it's going to be enough in the next 5 years. I think this is going to be a very unique 5 years. I think we've just watched a very unique 1 year. I think we've just watched a very unique 1 week. Does anybody remember a week like the past week? And yet I think I've said that a few more times earlier this year. Ever since Trump's come on board, the combination of Trump and Elon is creating a massive happening. And that's just Trump and Elon. It doesn't count all the rest of the companies I've just mentioned 15 different times. Anyway, if you think that the next 5 years will change everything, maybe you think it's all hype. Let me know in the comments below. Which do you think? Do you think it's all hype and it's, it won't be that big a deal when we look back in 5 years? Or do you think this is going to really, really be significant and bigger than what happened in the 90s? The 90s, we got through the 90s just fine. It was a big revolution. It was a big change. We eliminated the thing called secretary. In the 70s, we eliminated stenographers, and in the 90s, we eliminated secretaries. Well, we got through it. Somehow we got through it. We'll probably get through eliminating drivers and coders in the 25 to 35. But will we get through eliminating millions of other jobs? I think so, but I think it's a good idea to think about the future and to be planning how you're going to manage this change that's coming up. Anyway, hope this will be good for you. Hope you enjoyed watching this. Hit the like and subscribe and all that jazz. Maybe you want to, hit the Patreon button and finally, send $3 or $5 or $10 a month my way. Maybe you don't. It's okay. Just watch the shows. That'll be enough. All right. What else? Oh yeah, regular stuff coming up this weekend. Phil Beisel says he'll be on tomorrow. I'm still hoping to get Brian Wong on one time this weekend. He says he's got something really, really cool about SpaceX, but I know he's really super busy this weekend. We will have the regular show this afternoon where we'll talk about the news that's happened at Tesla today, and we'll have the Monday morning show on Sunday night. All those things coming up this weekend, and I hope that you'll be with me. It's been great talking to you.